The history of black Indians in California is a tale long shrouded in obscurity, a truth hidden beneath layers of conventional narrative. These indigenous people, with their distinct African ancestry, have been largely absent from our textbooks and mainstream understanding of American history. Their story is one of resilience, adaptation, and a deep connection to the California landscape. For generations, their presence has been whispered in hushed tones, passed down through oral traditions and glimpses in historical accounts. The time has come to bring their story into the light, to acknowledge their rightful place as integral threads in the rich tapestry of California's past. But before we get into the rest of this video, we want to take a quick second to tell you about our special limited time offer. We are running a special discount sale of our critically acclaimed book 19 White Men Who Admitted There Were Indigenous Black People in the Americas. This exclusive offer is our way of saying thank you for your incredible support and sticking with us on our knowledge-filled journey into true ancient American history. Dive deep into history with us and uncover truths that challenge what we've been taught. But hurry, this offer won't last forever. Click the link in the description and grab your free copy. Now let's get back to the video. Our quest to unveil the hidden history of black Indians in California is not based on speculation or conjecture, but on a solid foundation of historical evidence. From the detailed descriptions penned by early explorers to the anthropological studies conducted by renowned scholars, a compelling body of work supports their existence. These sources, often overlooked or dismissed, provide invaluable insights into the physical characteristics, cultural practices, and societal structures of these communities. The writings of individuals like Georg Langsdorff, a German naturalist who explored the California coast in the early 19th century, offer detailed observations of indigenous populations, noting their dark complexions and distinct features. Similarly, the accounts of Theodore Taylor Johnson, an explorer who ventured into the California gold field, provide further confirmation of these physical traits. The descriptions of the Digger Indians, so named for their practice of digging for roots, highlights their dark skin tones and facial features that Johnson and others likened to those of African descent. These first-hand accounts, though often filtered through the lens of the observer's own cultural biases, nevertheless offer crucial glimpses into a past often ignored. Our journey into the hidden history of California's black Indians begins with Georg Heinrich Freiherr von Langsdorff, a man of insatiable curiosity. In 1806, Langsdorff, a German naturalist, embarked on an expedition along California's rugged coastline. His journals offer a rare window into the lives of the native inhabitants of the San Francisco Bay Area. The indigenous people who greeted him had a striking appearance. Their skin tones were remarkably dark, challenging prevailing beliefs. Langsdorff's descriptions of the indigenous Californians extended beyond their skin color, encompassing a range of physical characteristics that further fueled his intrigue. Their hair, he observed, was strikingly different from the straight black hair often associated with Native Americans. Instead, he noted that it was often curly or woolly in texture, a trait more commonly associated with people of African descent. This characteristic, so incongruous with prevailing notions of racial categories, presented a profound challenge to the European understanding of human diversity. Langsdorff, a product of his time, struggled to reconcile these observations with the prevailing scientific theories of race, which often relied on rigid classifications and hierarchical rankings. Yet, despite his own internalized biases, Langsdorff's meticulous observations remained a testament to the reality he witnessed. He described the indigenous Californians as possessing a blend of features that defied easy categorization. Their noses, he noted, were often broad and flat, while their lips were full and prominent. These characteristics, often associated with people of African descent, further deepened the mystery surrounding the ancestry of these indigenous populations. Langsdorff's observations were not limited to physical appearances. He also took a keen interest in the cultural practices and lifestyles of the indigenous California. His writings provide valuable insights into a way of life that was rapidly disappearing. Langsdorff noted the diversity of tribal groups that inhabited the Bay Area, each with its own distinct language and customs and their deep spiritual connection to the natural world. The discovery of gold in California in 1848 ignited a mass migration, forever altering the Golden State. Among the fortune seekers was Theodore Taylor Johnson, a young adventurer from New Jersey. Johnson's arrival coincided with profound upheaval for the region's indigenous populations. The influx of prospectors brought disease, displacement, and a relentless hunger for land. Johnson documented his encounters with a rare level of detail. His writings, published in 1849, offer a glimpse into the lives of California's indigenous people. Johnson's travels through California's goldfields brought him into contact with a wide range of indigenous groups. Among them were the Digger Indians, who relied heavily on foraged plants. Johnson noted their skin tones ranged from dark mahogany to nearly black. He described their faces as round or square, with features closer to African than Indian. He observed their wide, enormous mouths, a trait he found particularly striking, and noted their noses nearly flat, a characteristic often associated with people of African descent. Their hair, he wrote, was straight, black and coarse as that of a horse's mane, but without gloss growing often over their low foreheads. These observations, so incongruous with prevailing notions of Native American features, led Johnson to speculate on the possibility of African ancestry among the Digger Indians. He noted that their small, gleaming eyes and overall appearance presented a revolting specimen of humanity to his European sensibilities, a reflection of the deep-seated racial biases of his time. Despite his prejudices, Johnson's observations provide a rare and valuable glimpse into the physical diversity of California's indigenous populations. His descriptions, though often couched in the language of 19th century racial hierarchies, challenge the simplistic narratives that have often erased the presence of black Indians from the historical record. Herdlicke, a life dedicated to understanding human variation. Alois Herdlicke, a towering figure in physical anthropology, dedicated his life to human variation and migration patterns. Born in the Czech Republic in 1869, he moved to the U.S. and became a naturalized citizen. His work spanned decades, challenging assumptions about race and ancestry. Herdlicke's meticulous research earned him recognition as a leading authority. He served as curator at the Smithsonian, accessing vast collections for his studies. Though controversial, his work respected human diversity. Herdlicke's approach paved the way for a nuanced understanding of human variation. Herdlicke's research revealed striking physical similarities between Native Americans and people from Africa and Melanesia. This challenged the notion of Native Americans as a homogeneous group. His measurements showed a complex tapestry of human variation. Coastal Native Americans exhibited traits like dark skin tones and curly hair. Initially met with skepticism, his work suggested multiple migration waves. This opened the door to a more nuanced understanding of human history. Herdlicke's research on the physical similarities between Native Americans and people of African descent brought him face to face with a deeply ingrained concept of the color line, a social and often legal barrier that divided people based on skin color and perceived racial purity. His findings challenged the notion of a clear and distinct boundary between races, highlighting the fluidity and interconnectedness of human variation. He argued that skin color, often used as a primary marker of racial difference, was a superficial characteristic influenced by a complex interplay of environmental factors and genetic inheritance. Herdlicher pointed to the wide range of skin tones observed within both Native American and African populations, demonstrating that color alone was an unreliable indicator of ancestry or racial purity. Herdlicher's emphasis on the shared humanity of all people, regardless of skin color or geographic origin, undermined the pseudoscientific justifications used to support racial discrimination and segregation. Now let's take a look at quatrefages, a reluctant witness to history. Jean-Louis Armand de Quatrefages de Broglie, a prominent French naturalist and anthropologist, found himself at the heart of a scientific debate. Quatrefages approached ancient migrations with a cautious and measured perspective. His work earned him a reputation as a leading voice in 19th-century France. In 1887, he published Histoire générale des races humaines, a comprehensive treatise on human diversity. This work reflected his fascination with the origins and interconnectedness of humankind, but also displayed the heavy influence by the scientific theories and social biases of his time. Seeds of doubt began to sprout as quatrefages delved deeper into the study of indigenous populations in the Americas, especially those along the western coast of North America. His research, drawing from explorers' accounts, fellow anthropologists' work, and his own skeletal analyses, began to challenge the prevailing narrative. This narrative suggested a single homogeneous Native American population descending solely from Asian migrants crossing the Bering Land Bridge. The physical characteristics of certain indigenous groups, particularly those on the California coast, presented quatrefages with a puzzle. Their dark skin tones, curly hair, and other features more commonly associated with African or Malaysian descent defied easy categorization within the existing racial classifications framework. These observations initially met with resistance from those invested in maintaining the established narrative of human migration. Planted seeds of doubt in Quatrefages' mind, he grappled with the possibility that human movement across the globe was far more complex and nuanced than previously believed. This potentially involved multiple waves of migration, transoceanic voyages, and interactions between populations separated by vast distances. Despite his initial reluctance, Quatrefages found himself increasingly unable to ignore the mounting evidence pointing towards a more complex narrative. The physical characteristics of certain indigenous groups, coupled with emerging linguistic and cultural data, suggested a history of contact and interaction between populations separated by vast oceans. In his later writings, Quatrefages began to acknowledge the possibility of ancient black populations reaching the Americas, albeit through what he termed accidents at sea. This concession, however qualified, represented a significant departure from the prevailing scientific orthodoxy of his time, which largely dismissed the possibility of transoceanic voyages by non-European peoples. Quatrefages' admission, though couched in the language of chance and accident, opened the door to a more nuanced understanding of human history. This understanding acknowledged the possibility of ancient seafaring capabilities and interactions between distant populations long before the arrival of Europeans. Otto von Kotzebue, an Estonian-born navigator in the service of the Russian Empire, embarked on expeditions that marked Pacific exploration. Driven by discovery, Kotzebue's voyages expanded geographical knowledge and provided insights into Pacific cultures. In 1815, Kotzebue set sail from Russia aboard the Rurik, a brig outfitted for scientific exploration. His mission took him around the globe and into the Pacific. Kotzebue's expedition documented the natural world, and observed the customs of the people they encountered. His meticulous journals provide a rich tapestry of observations. These include natural wonders and human diversity in the Pacific, California's coastal enigma observations on human variation. Kotzebue's voyage in the 1820s revealed a diverse people, defying racial classification. Indigenous Californians exhibited striking diversity, challenging the notion of a homogeneous population. He noted dark brown complexions, contrasting with lighter skin tones often attributed to Native America. Despite biases, Kotzebue's observations revealed a fascination with physical diversity. He described women with features hinting at African descent, influenced by racial stereotypes. Kotzebue's writings provide a valuable account of California's indigenous diversity. We receive additional evidence of a Black Aboriginal presence from the brushstrokes of Corus, who captured a hidden reality. Luis Corus, a young artist on Kotzebue's Pacific voyages, immortalized the people and places they encountered. Born in Ukraine, Corus captured human expression and natural details with remarkable talent. His works provide a rare visual record of a world on the cusp of change. Corus's realistic depictions of indigenous peoples captured their diversity in daily life. In California, his attention to detail portrayed the complexities of human variation. His paintings of California Indians depicted features associated with African descent. Corus's art offers a powerful testament to the presence of Black Indians in California's past. As we wrap up, the journey into the hidden history of California's Black Indians is not for the faint of heart. It demands confronting uncomfortable truths and challenging ingrained assumptions. Yet it is rich in rewards, offering a glimpse into a past obscured for too long. A past that reveals the true complexity and diversity of human experience. The Black Indians of California represent an integral thread in the rich tapestry of human experience. Their story challenges us to reconsider our understanding of race, identity, and American history. In conclusion, the rediscovery of California's Black Indians is a starting point, an invitation to explore, understand, and reconcile. It requires us to move beyond traditional narratives and embrace the complexities of human experience. Their legacy is a testament to resilience, reminding us that cultural identity can persist and adapt. Their story challenges us to confront colonialism and work towards a future where all voices are valued. Trust us when we say this journey through America's hidden Black past is just beginning. If this glimpse into a world lost to time has captured your imagination, smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe for more adventures into the unknown. Lastly, for more information about the names and subjects mentioned in this video, get your copy of the best-selling book series, 19 White Men, who admitted there were indigenous Black people in the Americas by Chase McGee at a special discount price. Link in the description. Stay curious and keep exploring.